Hello everyone, and welcome back to the video. I'm the last wanderer, and today Snapshot 20w48a is out, which adds dripstone and pointed dripstone. The latter can be used to make stalactites and stalagmites, and these stalactites and stalagmites have a lot of uses. Now, let's get into that. But first, quick disclaimer, dripstone caves have not been added into the game yet. This is just a mock year. Alright, now we're starting. Now, the first new block to cover that was added in this snapshot is the dripstone block. It's just a decoration block. It has no special purposes. But the other added block is pointed dripstone, which can be used to make stalagmites and stalactites. You can also combine the two. First, let's talk about stalagmites. Now, stalagmites are interesting because they deal damage to you if you fall on them. Walking on them deals no damage. But if you fall even the smallest bit, they start dealing damage. And it doesn't matter how big the stalagmite is, it'll do the same amount of damage. Falling down just 6 blocks onto a stalagmite is enough to kill you. Even with unenchanted armor on, falling 6 blocks onto a stalagmite still kills you. There are, however, 2 enchantments that can protect you from at least some of the stalagmite damage. First, there's feather falling, and protection. Even with maxed out or god armor on, you'd still have to be wary of stalagmites, because falling just 27 blocks with feather falling 4 and 4 sets of protection 4 would still be lethal. Also, one weird glitch with stalagmites, which I'm sure will be patched to, is if you land on the side of one, you take no damage at all. Here's just some final facts about stalagmites. The proper tool to mine them is a pickaxe, of course, and if they're not supported by another block, they break. Also, your armor does not take any damage when you take damage on them. Now we move on to stalactites, which can actually be used to make infinite lava sources. In order to get renewable lava, you need a cauldron under a 1 tall stalactite. It's important that it's only 1 tall, because otherwise this doesn't work. And 2 blocks above the stalactite, you need a source block of lava. Now, this also works with water, but that's not really useful. And unfortunately, it does not work with powdered snow. Using these mechanics, we can make a lava farm, like this simple setup here. Obviously, you can make a more complex one using minecarts and an AFK player to collect all the lava better. Another interesting thing about stalactites is that when they lose their support blocks, they fall. And not only do they break on impact, but they also damage any mob or player below them. A single stalactite falling just 12 blocks is lethal for an unarmored player. Unlike stalagmites, wearing unenchanted armor does protect you from stalactites. However, you have to wear at least multiple pieces of armor, or at least a helmet to protect you from at least some of the damage. And stalactites do a ton of damage to your helmet. Also, the larger the stalactite, the more damage you and your armor will take. It can even break through your helmet. If you want to kill a player with god or maxed out enchanted armor on, you need a pretty insane stalactite, like this 22 block tall stalactite that starts 27 blocks above the ground. Before I get into some trap designs with stalactites and stalagmites, here's just 2 more interesting facts. Stalagmites and stalactites are non-renewable. They don't grow off the ground, even if you use dripstone. And you can break both stalagmites and stalactites with tridents. Now on to trap designs. Here's my first one. It uses stalagmites to kill the player, and as you can see, I've maxed out netherite armor. You can probably guess what's about to happen. So yes, this was a pitfall trap. I used this redstone ore here so that when the player stepped on it, it updated this observer, which fired this pitfall trap here, sending the player to their death, as you can see. Now, there are some problems with this trap, like the fact that you can fall in between the stalagmites. Also, you could just fly out if you had an elytra. Now, the redstone for this trap is pretty simple. I just used an observer with a redstone ore, and here's the pitfall trap design here. It's also mirrored on the other side to make it too wide. As you can see it working. Now, while stalagmites are not the best for traps, they'll definitely be useful for mob farms, because most mob farms have you drop the mob to their death. But using stalagmites, you can definitely decrease the distance by a lot. The only downside is you'll have to pick up the items with a hopper minecart, since you can't place stalagmites on hoppers. If any mob does survive somehow, you can just simply flush them away onto a soul campfire. Now back to traps. Here's my second design. Once again, I have full, maxed out netherite armor on, and once again, I'm going to die. As you saw, I used stalactites this time to kill the player, because stalactites have a unique property that when a trapdoor is clicked, the whole thing falls. I also concealed the ceiling using sticky pistons. Out here you can see this trap. That redstone dust is for the sticky pistons. Those observers detect this bubble column, which instantly updates both of these observers. And this redstone dust up here powers these trapdoors, and it's once again activated by a redstone ore. The one problem with this trap, though, is once again, if you stand in a hyper-specific spot, you can actually escape all damage, like right here. But this is a lot less likely because these stalactites are bigger than the stalagmites, so you're more likely to get damaged. And the last trap I want to show in this video is this really easy death room. Now, I called this trap really easy because the circuitry is really simple. You just have a shifting ceiling, as you can see here, and this is all generated from the button pulse, and there's no way you can escape in time to survive. Also, one downside of this trap is the same problem as before. If you find the perfect spot, you can miss the stalactites falling on you, but that's pretty hard to happen in all the chaos. Also, it generates a lot of lag. And one other downside is you need a lot of stalactites to make it, and currently they are not renewable. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully dripstone and pointed dripstone become obtainable in survival in the near future. Also, hopefully it becomes farmable. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Make sure to check out my previous videos and my next video, which will actually be dealing with something similar to what I discussed in this video. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye!